Hey, it's Ben here from the Strength Factory, and today I'm going to be talking about how your phone and your laptop posture are going to be wrecking your riding position. So, what's the big deal? Well, I see it all the time with people who come to see me at the gym. It happens more and more and more. People, they come and they're spending so much time, they're working from home, hunched over a desk, and then when they're not at their desk, they're like this, hunched over their phone, and then they ride their bikes, and then they drive their cars and vans, and basically we're doing all these things that are causing us to round forwards, to flex our spine. And what we need to be doing is opening up like this to allow us to move, to allow us to breathe, and to allow us to ride our bikes better. First of all, then let's have a look at what effect this has when you're actually on your bike. Let's start off then by looking at your riding position and roughly what we're looking to do. Let's just agree that this is something like this, give or take, is roughly how you want to be going down the trail. And if you haven't already checked it out, I've got a really good video, my first ever viral video, all about riding position. I'll bang a link up there for it. But basically what we're looking for is a relatively flat back, relatively straight legs, and in this position I can lift my head and look up the trail, which is the critical bit. Now the exact details are going to depend on whether you've got long legs or short legs, or whether you're tall or whether you're short, and that will determine the exact details, but that is basically what we're looking for. Now, look what happens here when my back rounds over, okay? It's a little exaggerated, my upper back rounds over. I'm now looking down, and in order to look up the trail, I have to create this really sharp angle here to look up the trail, and it's uncomfortable, and I can't really do it. So what happens? This is what happens, okay? Does this look like a good riding position, or does this look like I need a shit? Okay, I know what it looks like, and I know that right now there's no weight on my front wheel, and you can't ride a bike like that. So when your upper back is rounded forwards like this, what it means is you need more neck angle, more pinch in the neck to be able to look where you're going. Okay, so that's the first thing. You can't look where you're going properly without lifting your chest and wrecking your riding position. Just to reinforce how important that posture is, think about the last time you watched pro riders, like at the World Cup. On the weekend I watched Monson and Loic Bruni, back flat as a pancake, great posture, real strong guy. You could iron your shirt on his back. The other rider that always jumps to mind with that is Tiny Seagrave as well. Really great flat back, amazing posture, and it just makes it easier for both of these riders and all of the top riders to lift their head and to be looking up the trail whilst being in control of their bikes. Whilst we all know that going down a hill is where it's really at some point we do have to pedal up, and that means using your legs and using your lungs, and that is what's important. So I'm pedaling up the hill, got a nice posture, okay? In this position, my ribs can expand and contract. I've got space to breathe. Now look what happens when I round the upper back, okay? Because I've been on my phone too much. Again, I have to do this thing with my neck like we already talked about, and now my ribs are pinched in, and I'm restricted in my ability to breathe. I'm restricted here at the ribs and their ability to open and close, and I'm restricted here because this neck angle here, you can literally feel that the air does not move as freely from the outside to the inside and back out, okay? You don't need to be a sports scientist or a pro rider to understand that that is a bad thing. We need to open that posture, get the ribs moving, get them springing, get them moving properly, in able to breathe freely to climb either more efficiently or just to climb faster. The next thing to talk about is the knock-on effect of that rounded phone posture on your shoulders and your ability to move them freely, i.e. when we get rounded forward, it restricts your ability to get your arms up overhead here, okay? And whilst when I'm in my position, that isn't a massive deal, when you start to get more dynamic on the bike and make positions, we can start to find and get closer to your end ranges of motion than we might like, okay? The other place where I really feel it's a vulnerability to have that rounded posture and restricted shoulders is when we inevitably fall off the bike. When I'm falling off the bike, arms outstretched, I want two things. I want mobility, i.e. I want my arms to have a good bit of freedom to go in different positions without something breaking or dislocating, and then I want that strength, which strictly speaking is part of mobility, but I want to highlight that as well as putting my arms here, they want to be strong here as well, okay? When I'm rounded forward, number one, it's harder to get strong there because I can't get there. In the gym, I can't press overhead, not easily, because of that posture, and so then I can't get strong there. So we need to, again, open that posture to improve your ability to save yourself and hopefully be more robust when you fall off your bike. You know, that's so slippery. Hopefully if you stayed on the video this long, you're on board with the idea that this desk and phone posture is going to be no good. So what are we going to do about it? How are we going to address it? How are we going to improve it? Okay, but before we do that, you know it'd be awesome, hit subscribe. If you've got this far and you're going to watch the rest, just help me to help you. Let's grow the channel so I can bring you loads more content. Hit subscribe. Anyway, what are we going to do about it? Well, there's different things. There's number one, day-to-day positions and awareness. There's specific exercises and mobility we can do. There's warm-ups you can do before a ride. Okay, so let's start working our way through each of those. One of the first things I suggest people do is having more awareness of how they sit in their office at a desk when they're driving and things like that. And it's common sense, just stand up, draw the shoulders back, and then what I call it is tuck the chin in. Okay, so rather than here on my laptop, I want to tuck the chin. Imagine there's like a bit of string on the back of your head here, pulling you up like this. Instead of down and out here, you pull it up, tuck the chin. So this is my posture, and this is how I want to sit when I'm doing my work. And it may mean raising your screen, adjusting the angle of your keyboard. People use a standing desk or, you know, different positions and things like that. And that's the first thing to do, is to think about how you're sitting, and then to have a reminder on your phone or a post-it note on your monitor that reminds you. It says, sit up, Ben, or shoulders back, or tuck your chin, or all of the above. And every now and then, boom, I've slouched, no, sit up. Oh, I've done it again, sit up, okay? So it's that day-to-day awareness to get you to spend more time in better positions and less time in compromised positions. On the subject of your day-to-day awareness of how you stand, I've got a little anecdote for you. I came back after my first I think 4 or 5 months in the army. I've been in training, got home on leave. Loads of people asked, Ben, are you still growing? Have you got taller? The answer was no. I was 24 years old. I wasn't very tall, but I definitely hadn't grown. And you know what? It's because there was a scary man in a beret with a stick every day shouting at me to stand up straight, how you imagine a soldier. And it literally, people thought I was taller after just a few months of it. So there you go, it can work. Now, my favorite subject, we're going to talk about the exercise that you can do at the gym or at home, and, you know, mobility work as well as, you know, strength exercises. And the goal for all of these is to open your position, whether it's mobility or the exercises you do, and never to encourage that forward rounding. Okay, so there are loads and loads of different things we can do. So in the warm-up, you know, we can, instead of circling your arms forward, circle them backwards. We can do things like a preacher stretch, where you put your elbows on a bench and drop your head in between it. You can hang on a bar, like literally dead hang is really effective for doing that. And there's loads of different ways to open up the upper back from side to side, and that really encourages that open posture. The other flip side of that coin, as well as strengthening the muscles that do that, is to try and stretch this area, stretch the chest, the shoulders, maybe the lats. So hanging, opening up the chest here, and different positions like that, they're going to really open you up. Now we're going to start doing some exercises. Okay, so again, we can use things like a band pull apart to open that posture, and as well as opening it, it strengthens the mid upper back, so those muscles hold your posture effectively. Things like a bent over row or an RDL, if we're doing them correctly and really emphasizing those positions, are going to be really effective. Finally, we can get down on the mat, on our faces, and do some pretty grim work for your upper back and posture, like VWTs or some stick press. And finally, you can't go wrong with laying back over the foam roller, trying to get some good pops, some good cracks out of it. It feels amazing, and it's a really nice way to help all the others to be more effective. Before we go any further, a quick reality check. You sit down for 7 or 8 hours a day, hunched over your laptop. You've been doing it for 4 years now or whatever. Do you think you're going to improve this doing 5 minutes of half-assed work a couple of times a week? The reality is no. If you actually want to improve this, you're going to have to work. So if after a couple of weeks you're not seeing a big difference, okay, keep pushing, play that long game, buy into the process, and you will achieve your goals here and improve your posture. It just won't happen overnight. Right. So it's best time of day, it's time to go riding. Maybe you've been sat down driving, maybe you haven't, but a really great thing to do is a little warm up to help open the posture, to give you the best possible chance of the best possible ride. Let's keep it simple. Hands on the bike or on the side of your car or van, and I'm just going to drop the chest down between them and come back up there. I'll show you again. Just going to drop down. And what I'm looking to do is really feel that in this area here, that mid back area. So keep your stomach tight, otherwise the lower back will just arch, okay? Keep it tight, keep it flat, and just drop down here. You may feel it down here, down your lats, through your armpit. You may feel it down your arm if you're tight there, but we really just want to get in that overhead position. Let's spend 30 seconds down there and just do what feels good. If you want to move around a bit, do it. Let's go single arm, okay? Drop down there, and I like to turn away from it too. And now I can feel that all down my side. There we go. And we're just going to breathe and obviously do the other side as well. And then let's just get things moving. Let's open up the posture. Open up. And as I do this, you might think I'm just swinging his bloody arms around. But actually, as I bring it round, I'm using the muscles in the upper back to draw those elbows back. If you're super keen, you can get a band in the car or van, do some pull aparts as well, activate the upper back. If you've ever looked on Pink Bike or any of those behind the scenes videos, you'll see loads of World Cup riders doing band pull aparts and similar exercises before they drop in for their race runs, because it helps to set your upper back posture, get the muscles woken up and get you ready to ride. So there you go. If you want to ride like this and not like this, then less time on your phone, less time on the laptop, be aware of your body position, do some corrective exercise and mobility, warm up before you ride, and then come and thank me later. If you've got any questions, drop them below. And if you haven't already, then please hit subscribe. And I'll be back soon with more mountain bike fitness and training knowledge just for you.